49ers Titans tomorrow night from Nissan Stadium in Nashville. I have already recorded the full hour-long roster breakdown video where we talk a lot about this matchup. So this is the quick hitter. This is the one to give you the keys to the game and reveal my prediction. Will the 49ers beat the Titans? I'll answer at the very end. So make sure you watch just for the next couple minutes, and make sure you check out my colleague Matt Barrow's article right here to my left, the 3 defensive line changes that helped turn around the 49ers season. Some good insight in there. He talks about Eric Armstead shifting out inside. He talks about Arden Key working inside also against guards. That's really been big for the 49ers to rediscover that interior strength of the defensive line. And of course, he talks about Nick Bosa floating from side to side, which actually is going to be one of my keys for this game against Tennessee coming up. 49ers are 8-6. The Titans are 9-5. Even though the Tennessee has the better record, I think the 49ers are the better team. The analytics, the DVOA, has the 49ers as number 7 in the NFL, and they have the Titans at number 23. So it's a lot like the situation we saw last week. Atlanta came in at 6-7, but ranked number 32. Played out that way, didn't it? It looked like a 7 versus 32 or an 8 versus 32 matchup with the 49ers winning in a rout. So I think this game here against the Tennessee Titans could go in similar fashion if the 49ers are able to overcome the challenge of flying cross country to play on very short rest. That's the big caveat here. But on paper, 49ers have been more efficient than the Titans. So let's look at some of the keys for this game. Number 1, win the chess match against the Titans safeties, Kevin Byard and Amani Hooker. Both of these guys are having excellent seasons. Byard has 5 interceptions. Hooker, you look at these players and they're smart. They're smart. They're aggressive. They'll bait quarterbacks. They're good at luring quarterbacks into not being able to identify what type of zone coverage the Titans might be playing at any given time. So it's going to be a chess match between Garoppolo and Tennessee safeties in this game. The 49ers need to win that chess match. You play it on high ground if you run the football well. So that's obviously important. The Titans have been a middling run defense. They haven't been great. They've been a middling pass defense. They haven't been great. But I'll tell you what, they've had their moments. They confused the hell out of Matt Stafford with the way they were passing off some of the zones in the game against the Rams, which came the week before the 49ers beat the Rams at Levi Stadium. The Titans won that one thanks to the fact that their defense was solid on the back end, and it started with the safety. So Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to be on point in this game, and the men in front of him are going to have to be on point in this game. Tennessee runs a 3-4 defensive front, which can get after the passer. Their adjusted sack rate of 7.3% ranks number 7 in the NFL. Jeffrey Simmons is a big defensive tackle type that in the 3-4 plays defensive end, but he's 305 pounds and he's a load. He's a problem. 7.5 sacks on the season. Danico Autry's been around the league for a while. He's a 260, 270-pound edge rushing type. He can also bring some heat against the 49ers, but it's been the emergence of Harold Landry. Remember the Boston College product in 2018? That's the year that he was drafted. He has 11 sacks this season, and Harold Landry can get after quarterbacks with the speed rush. He's a lighter edge rushing type, 240 to 250, that can really, really roar with speed and burst off the line of scrimmage. So the 49ers tackles in this game, they have their hands full. We know that Trent Williams can get the job done. The question is, can Tom Compton get the job done without too much help from George Kittle and company? Because the more you can go one-on-one on the outside, the more targets you're going to have downfield. And if the 49ers are trying to win a chess match with 2 good safeties, well, it stands to reason that they want more of their credible pass-catching targets downfield for Jimmy Garoppolo. So they have to protect up front against a decent and to good Tennessee pass rush if they're going to want to win this chess match against some good safeties. Now, Janoris Jenkins, remember him? He's 33 years old, just a little bit younger than the 49ers' old starting quarterback, Josh Norman. Norman is 34, but Jenkins, who they call the Jackrabbit Jenkins, he's one of the starters on the outside for Tennessee. And, I don't care who you are. If you're 33 and you're a corner and you're starting in this league, I know that you've lost the step. You might be smart. You might have some of that veteran guile, but there's something to be able to be exploited in that situation. And I think that if the 49ers play their cards properly, pass protect well enough, set up the safeties, I think they can get Janoris Jenkins in single coverage on the outside. And I do think that Shanahan and Garoppolo would take their chances with whoever is working against Janoris Jenkins on the perimeter. Key number 3, we're flipping around to the 49ers defense. Expose David Quessenberry at right tackle. Quessenberry's a San Jose State product. He's been dealing with an injury. He should play on Thursday, and he hasn't been good in pass protection. He's given up 41 pressures on the season. The Titans' offensive line in general hasn't been good. Consistently, they rank near the bottom year by year in pass block win rate. This is a play action team that relies a lot on Derrick Henry, who's hurt right now and won't play. And they run the play action through Tannehill and Henry, and then they throw downfield to wide receivers who obviously are talented, but obviously also are compromised due to injury. Well, play action teams generally lean on that a lot when their offensive line is a better run blocking line than it is a pass blocking line. And that's certainly the case with the Tennessee Titans. So 49ers, number 2 run defense DVOA in the whole league. They have turned it on as far as run defense goes. And that's why I put Matt's article up there. 3 defensive line changes that have helped turn around the 49ers season. Well, DJ Jones has taken over on the inside. He's become a consistent force, not just a flash player. Eric Armstead moving inside next to DJ Jones has made a difference. And the 49ers are now stout against the run. Number 2 DVOA and run defense is no joke. That's the real deal. And because of that, the 49ers are setting up pass obvious situations for opponents. And because of that, the pass rush is starting to thrive with some of the other adjustments Kasarik has made. Well, I'll tell you what, one of the big adjustments today is exposing, or Thursday, will be to expose David Quessenberry at right tackle. 41 pressures allowed is also no joke. I think that Nick Bosa is going to try to line up on the left side against right tackle to expose that side, force the Tennessee Titans to use help. And if they have to use help against Bosa, well, guess what? Samson Ebukam is coming off his 2 best games. You also have Arden Key doing some work against the interior. And I think that we might see Arden Key work against Roger Saffold there at the left guard position, maybe a little work against Nate Davis at right guard for the Titans. But it all starts with exposing Quessenberry at right tackle. And I think that Bosa is the man for that job. That leads to this. Pick off Ryan Tannehill. The guy has 14 interceptions this season. That leads the league. It's tied with Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence. 3.1% interception rate for Ryan Tannehill is higher than it's been before, especially with the Titans, and it's too high to be sustainable. Tannehill, we had grown accustomed to him being one of the more efficient quarterbacks in the league in years prior to 2021. Not the case this year. He's near the bottom in efficiency. It hasn't been good. He's like 23, 24, 25, somewhere around there. And a lot of it's because the pass protection hasn't been there. Derrick Henry's gone, so you can't really lean on that dominant run threat for play action. And the receivers have been hurt. A.J. Brown's been out. Julio Jones has been out. The Titans just haven't had that cohesion offensively. It's showing with Ryan Tannehill throwing as many picks as he has. So 14 is too high. 3.1% INT rate is too high. It's time for the 49ers to pounce on some of these footballs. Remember, they played Joe Burrow a couple weeks ago. Entering that game, we said Joe Burrow throws a lot of picks, right? And he threw 2 pick-worthy throws to the 49ers. One of them was nullified by a penalty. Ambry Thomas hands to the face. Other one went right through Aziz Al-Shire's hands. So the 49ers need to make sure that they capitalize on what I think will be some pick-worthy throws for Ryan Tannehill against the pass rush that's better than Tennessee's line, to wide receiver targets that simply, aren't the A-listers for Tennessee. They might get A.J. Brown back, but outside of that, Julio Jones probably not going to play in this game. And you look at the other targets, they do not strike fear in you. Have you ever heard of Chester Rogers? Well, if you haven't, he's one of Tennessee's starting wide receivers. And I think the 49ers can win that matchup mano a mano. And I think that pass rush can force Ryan Tannehill into some mistakes. Finally, tough out those Thursday bruises. It's not going to be easy to play on less than 100 hours of rest since the win over the Falcons, but it's not going to be easy for Tennessee either. They played a grinded out game and they lost on the road to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tennessee's also beaten up. They're not healthy right now. So even if A.J. Brown comes back, I talk about the fact that Quessenberry's been beaten up. Taylor Lewan, their left tackle, he might not play. At the time that I'm recording this, he's questionable. So Kendall Lamb is the swing tackle. He'd be next in line. But with tackle issues on an offensive line that already struggles in pass protection, the Titans might be in a world of hurt. And it's important that the 49ers keep them there. Tough out the fact they have to fly cross country, play prime time Thursday night. They've been trying to get as much sleep as possible. That's been the prescription from Kyle Shanahan to the 49ers. And I think that's a good formula. They have to get rid of as many bruises as possible, suck it up, play as hard as they can, and get a big win on Thursday night. If you look at the 49ers, they're 8-6. This potentially could move into 9-6. A loss would move them to 8-7. They'd be again in danger, in that whole playoff race. But 9-6 would put the 49ers as a virtual lock into the postseason. So this is a huge game. And this is one that, it's not ideal. Nobody liked this when it came out on the schedule, when they saw they would have to fly 2 time zones right before Christmas, right after a game on Sunday to play the Tennessee Titans in prime time. Not good for the road team in any of these situations, and especially for defenses. Night games can be tough. So in all likelihood, this is going to be a game where the offense has to dictate the flow for the 49ers, even though the Tennessee offense has struggled so much as of late, and the Tennessee defense is better than their offense this year. I still think that because of realities of Thursday games where the bruises do impact the defense more, it is important that the 49ers offense leaves its mark on this game. If the 49ers do that, I see them winning this game. They're better on paper than the Titans. And even though they do have the disadvantage of having to travel and play this game on the road, there's a reason the 49ers are 3.5-point favorites. I believe that the offense will continue rolling in this game. I do think that the defense will take some punches because of the bruises it's facing. A.J. Brown probably coming back for the Titans. But ultimately, the 49ers pass rush has been getting stronger. And I see too many holes on that Tennessee front. And I see too many holes in Ryan Tannehill's game and his efficiency this year to see the 49ers losing this game because of their defense. And if it's in the hands of the 49ers offense, I actually think that you feel good because they've been rolling lately. As long as they win that chess match against Byard and Hooker, and as long as the 49ers offensive line protects decently well, they should hold serve in this game. So my prediction for this one is going to be 49ers 30 and the Tennessee Titans 20. I think the 49ers win one by 10 on the road. All right, everybody subscribe. Take care. We'll talk to you all soon.